So New Jersey Congressman Donald Norcross tweeted out his support for Medicare for All, in spite of the fact that the congressman has yet to co-sponsor the latest Medicare for All legislation. Very interesting move.
Interesting. So last week, House Democrats, they renewed efforts to pass a Medicare for All bill. It had 109 co-sponsors in the support of the latest measure. DC Bureau Chief at The Intercept, he's host of the Deconstructed podcast, friend of the show, Ryan Grim, joins us now to discuss. Ryan, you, by taking note here of who was previously supporting and now isn't, who are some of the names and what does it tell us about the party right now?
Yeah, each one of them is kind of interesting, and we can run through them one by one because there aren't a ton. But Norcross is fascinating. He puts out this excited post on Twitter the day that Medicare for All is introduced in the House, saying we all need it. And Norcross, there's such a thing in New Jersey called the Norcross machine. This is. There's some brothers in New York who are connected to luxury real estate developers and connected to other powerful figures in New Jersey who have kind of a lock on significant parts of the political infrastructure in there. And Norcross in Congress is a member of that machine. So to get his support for Medicare for All would be a bit of a coup, because in order to win, you don't just need idealists and progressives. You also need kind of machine types who just see that this is the way the wind is blowing. But strangely, he's not on the bill itself, and so there's going to be a lot of pressure, from local activists in New Jersey saying, well, why don't let's get you on. It might be connected to the fact that Frank Pallone, who is also from New Jersey and is the Energy and Commerce Committee chair, one of the most powerful committees and a committee that Medicare for All has to go through, shocked everybody by the night before the introduction agreeing to co-sponsor, be an original co-sponsor of Medicare for All and to pledge hearings. So that's a burst of momentum. But like you said, there are a number of people who signed on last time, but didn't this time. Any particular ones you want to start with? The politically scared ones, or the ones with stranger kind of explanations?
Wherever you want to go with it, Ryan.
All right.
Surprise us.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's do the ones who appear to have gotten politically scared. There are 5 that dropped off, but 3 fit in that category. Jared Golden, who represents a swing district in Maine. Tim Ryan, who represents a district in Ohio, but is running for Senate. This time around, and Vicente Gonzalez, who in 2016 and 2018 won his Texas congressional district by 20 plus points. This time, though, he got a huge scare. He didn't see it coming, and he only won his re-election by 3 points. And so I think you can draw a connection between the fact that those 3 were on the bill last time but are not this time. They might be wrong that Medicare for All in a swing district or in a statewide race in Ohio is a political liability, but it's a huge problem for organizers if sophisticated politicians like that see it as a problem and want to run away from it.
Yeah, so here's the question then. What price are they going to pay for drifting away? Has anybody mobilized against this? Are there groups and others who've taken notice? How exactly is that working?
So for Tim Ryan, it'll be interesting because, as people may or may not remember, he also ran for president last time around, and the presidential debate had this fight over Medicare for All as Bernie Sanders introduced it, or kind of Medicare for All who want it as Pete Buttigieg was pushing it, arguing that there are so many people who have loss aversion, are nervous about losing their private health insurance, that they prefer something like a public option that kind of creeps into the system and gives people access to Medicare but doesn't require them to get onto it. Tim Ryan was kind of more on that side of that argument, so he's probably going to make that argument as a Senate candidate and say, well, I'm not trying to ban private insurance. Jared Golden in Maine, if he needs the support of kind of progressive organizers there to rally people to the polls in 2022, he's going to have to explain to them why, when he ran on Medicare for All in 2018 and won, he supported it again and won re-election, but now it's backing off. He's going to have to explain to them why he's doing that. And also, it makes you look like a politician. in a way that doesn't like appeal to people who might disagree with the policy, but at least are excited that you're willing to stand behind it. Vicente Gonzalez, a lot is going to depend there whether or not they ban gerrymandering in Congress, and if they don't, Texas Republicans could just either write him a safe blue district in order to cram voters in there, or could write him out of Congress. So in some ways, he's just kind of hanging back and seeing what happens. One of the others is interesting. Joyce Beatty, who represents Columbus, Ohio. If you remember, she was challenged by Justice Democrats and Morgan Harper in a primary. She was an original co-sponsor of Medicare for All. It may just be that it's peak, that it's spite. I sponsored Medicare for All. I was there I was right there with everybody the day it was introduced. I still get primary from the left and called a sellout. She wins, and so she comes back, and at least she's not on the bill yet. But it very well may be kind of a thumb at the nose of activists that, look, you tried to take me out, and you didn't. So now you got to beg me to get back on your bill.
Fascinating.
And Ryan, lastly, why is this significant? Right? I mean, nobody has any expectation that Medicare for All is going anywhere while Biden is president. He has outright said, even if by some miracle it landed on his desk, that he would veto it. So why do you see this as mattering at all?
Momentum, is everything on Capitol Hill. There's so much relies on the perception of a bill's viability. And it's hard to put exact metrics on what makes something viable, what makes something serious. But for years and years and years, Medicare for All, HR 676, introduced by Conyers, was considered to be aspirational legislation. This was just something that, this would be nice. And so I'll sign on to it to send a signal to, my progressive voters that I am generally progressive. But I'm not seriously grappling with the legislation as something that could actually become law. That has changed. Now they introduce an actual bill, more than 100 pages. That would rewrite the law around the healthcare system. But it has to show forward progress. It has to show momentum for other members to continue to take it seriously, or they'll just say, you know what, we're working on subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. I'm going to work on this instead. And so if members start dropping off and don't feel pressure to get back on, then that's headed the wrong direction. But if you have people like Frank Pallone joining, who are these moderate, powerful chairmen of major committees who take tons of pharmaceutical money, and you have them signing on to Medicare for All, then it starts to be taken more seriously in Washington. It's something that needs to be grappled with.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ryan, thank you so much for breaking it down. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you got it.
And we'll have more Rising for you after this.